Hey guys! On Discord, one of my students asked me to add a battle pass system to my Kawaii survival course. I love the idea and thought, why not make it flexible enough to work with any game? That's what I did, and you're going to see how easy it is to implement. By the way, the course has just been approved by Udemy, so grab it now and get up to 88% off. You'll find the link in the description. The first thing that came to my mind was data. If you're familiar with this kind of systems, you know that they have seasons, right? And each season is composed of a certain amount of days, so I started from there. Each season is going to be stored in a scriptable object. This is going to make data handling way easier. A season will have two properties, a duration in hours and a list of days. The day I'm talking about here is a custom structure that has three fields. The normal reward, the golden reward, the one that you can unlock with the pass or golden ticket, you decide here, and the required XP for that specific day. Okay, what's that compound reward there? Well, this is another structure that contains data about the reward or rewards, because a reward can either be simple, like right here, a potion, a bomb, more playtime, but it can also be a gift with hidden rewards to spark curiosity in the player's mind and make the game more interesting. Regarding the reward structure, it's also really simple. It holds a reward amount and a reward type. We'll get on that later on. Okay, now that our data is well structured, let's have a closer look at our UI. This is the final UI I came up with, heavily inspired from some popular games. Here is how the space is divided. The main container is divided into two sections, the top section and the bottom one. The top section is also divided into two sections, right and left. For the bottom section, I had two possibilities. The first one was to consider it as one big scroll view to drop the reward containers. In that case, the spawn prefab should have a vertical layout with the three elements, so the golden reward, the day container, and the reward container. I found it a bit weird, so instead I decided to split it into three separate scroll views, one for each element. Here is a screenshot of the final layout in the hierarchy. What? You did see it, right? Just kidding. There you go. All right, we've now tackled the data, the UI, so let's see how the whole thing comes together. As you can see in this image, we don't have that many elements, so it's going to be quite simple. Stay with me. Let's start with the main elements, the seasons, the parents, and the prefabs. At start, we will initialize our system only if we should initialize it. Wait, why shouldn't we initialize it? I'll get back to that later. Initializing our system means loading our data, which tells us if the player has already purchased the pass, the current level, and the XP, creating the reward prefabs, and initializing other useful components such as the level slider, the timer, and the badger. Right after creating the reward prefabs, we need to configure them, right? And for that, we need to be aware of certain things. Should the reward be unlocked? Has it already been claimed? And has the player purchased the golden ticket so that we allow him to claim golden rewards? Currently, I've used the player preferences to save and load all of the system's data, but again, if you guys love the system, I might improve it using my save system sigil. I also have a course on that. When the player claims a reward, an event is triggered with the necessary data. This makes the system versatile and will allow to apply any logic depending on the reward. Another interesting point I want to mention in here is the static methods. If you've watched one of my latest shorts, you know that I've used the Naughty Attributes package to test different features of the system. The methods called were actually those right here. This will definitely make using the system a breeze. I've actually tested it. I was able to use it right away by simply dragging and dropping the system into a new scene. By the way, I almost forgot. Remember earlier, I told you that there are some cases where we should not initialize, right? I think it's now time to let you know. Before the start method, we are actually doing a bunch of checks, and more specifically, two important checks. We try and load the current season, along with the season dates. As you can see, if we notice that the season end has the minimum value, it means that it has not been initialized, thus no season is currently active. In that specific case, we don't want to initialize the system. Another interesting thing I want to show you is the timer, so let's have a closer look at it. To better manage the season dates and durations, I've used two quite useful data structures, datetime and timespan. To save the current date, you can use datetime.udcnow. To check if a date has been initialized, we've seen this before, you can check if it has the minimum value or not. To increase or decrease a date, I don't know if this makes sense, you can add a timespan as seconds, minutes, hours, days, whatever you want. And same thing when you want to display how much time the season has left. You can grab the days, hours, minutes, and format in whatever way you want. I don't think this is something that I did tackle in one of my previous courses, so I wanted to let you know here. Hope this is useful. Last but not least, I've added a fun and animated panel whenever the player claims a reward. It's simple but straightforward and quite nice to look at. The art used in this system are made by CMAS Art. The pack is free on the asset store, so I invite you to grab it from there and show some love to the creator. What now? I've quite enjoyed making this system, and one part of me really wants to improve it. Like, I had that idea of improving how we can set up the seasons. Right now I'm using the default property drawers, but creating a custom inspector, like I've said in one of my posts, could be really interesting and make the process more enjoyable. I'm almost always brainstorming new systems, but I'm curious to know, what's the one feature that would level up your game? Drop it in the comments and let's build something awesome together. Thanks for sticking around. If you're excited for what's coming next, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my next system breakdown. See you in the next one.